Hey, Nick here from After the Call. I'm just was asked to send maybe a little video about some things that you can do during this stressful time, and what we could hope for in trying to stay mentally fit or healthy. So, accompanying this, I'll have a small little article that they can post or not post. My understanding is you can have a small package coming with you with a bunch of other articles and helpful pieces. So. There's some 5 steps to trying to stay healthy in these kind of unknown and intensely stressful times. So first and foremost, be checking in. So whether that's with your partner in the truck, if you can trust them and they're the type of person that you can confide in, but also friends and colleagues and family, just wanting to be checking in. The majority of times that people come and see me, often they don't recognize what's going on or occurring around them, and a spouse or a partner or a friend is saying, hey, like you need to get things looked at, you're acting different, or what have you. For us, it can feel like a mood. For other people, they might recognize that it's a bit longer. So you want to be checking in, especially now that the stress is a lot higher for you. The coping measures that maybe aren't well suited or great for handling stress but have been working for you, you may find are not working now. So checking in is a great way of trying to figure that out for yourself and try to understand what you need. Maintaining a care plan, this sounds silly, I know, but trying to remain to keep some semblance of normality in your life. You're running shift like you always have, but you've got a heightened risk given the work that you're doing now. But that at-home time and that time off the bus, what are we doing to try to maintain that kind of normality in our lives? So that means, deciding what do I need and how am I going to get it? Is that exercise, is that eating right? Is that, staying away from alcohol, pot, sex, drugs, gambling, whatever it is that we might use to try to distract ourselves, to recognize that that's avoidance, and that avoidance, in individual instances or small little bits, maybe not a huge problem for us, but used as our main coping strategy or issue, can be. So we want to maintain that care plan and try to stick to it as best as we can, and stay connected. I understand that that's a bit more difficult right now, given that we are not supposed to be seeing or hanging out with people outside of what you're doing for work, and you're supposed to be isolating at home and the stores are closed. But that's the one upside to the world that we live in with the technology that we have, is that we can connect, and we can connect in a safe way with others. So but we got to teeter on balance, because that might mean diving nose deep into social media, and that might not actually be a healthy thing for us, especially if we're susceptible to the negativity in the news. So we want to be sure that if we're engaging with other people, maybe it's FaceTime or connecting over some messenger with friends and family, that you can maintain that social connection without the kind of the negativity that comes with being anonymous online. But we want to try and work at maintaining those connections, especially now, because that's a big part of what we need. And above all, expect stress. So obviously we know that the work that you do is already stressful, but what we want to be sure of is that we're actually expecting more stress. And this is what I was saying earlier, by recognizing that the tools that I have, making sure that the ones I'm using are effective and adaptable and not harmful, but also checking to see if I have ones that aren't as great. Do I go home and I have that beer, or do I smoke some pot, or do I do something like that that's supposed to calm me down? And do I find that I'm actually doing that more and more and more, because the stress is going to increase, and it's only going to get higher and higher, especially if we don't have that appropriate outlet for the stress. So we compartmentalize all of that work, so we have to come home and decompartmentalize. So what we need to be paying attention to is how we're coping with it and what we're doing to cope with it. And we have to understand and expect that stress is going to come. And with that acceptance of that stress, then we can work actively at trying to combat it. So maybe I don't do a lot of exercise, or maybe this is a great time to start. Maybe I don't really eat the best, but maybe this is a great time to start. Or maybe I don't stay connected to those in my life, by phone or, whatever, but maybe that's a great place to start, right? And the last one's be proactive. So, us as first responders typically are very reactive when it comes to problems. We wait till it's the worst case scenario, or until it's really causing issues or stress. And I just being really proactive before anything gets to the point where it becomes even more difficult to manage or starts to interfere with your life or your work. So being proactive doesn't necessarily mean reaching out for professional support, but it means maybe following the other rules in this kind of quick list of things to help keep you healthy, which is creating a care plan, staying connected, managing and expecting your stress, and doing all of these pieces to really help kind of keep you as mentally fit as you can for the job, because it demands of it. But if that does mean reaching out for professional help, doing that on a proactive basis makes it less time consuming, less involved, and especially less, strapping for you for time. So again, there's going to be a little thing that attached to this video digs into these points a little bit more, but the bottom line is I think that, we just want you to know that there's ways to manage this. This is unsure times, to be sure, but there are ways to get through this and navigate this effectively. And as always, people can reach out to me, and we can connect virtually, because that's where we're at, or over the phone or whatever. And it's all anonymous between you and I. So if you need that extra support, then support's there. And as I tell everybody that comes through the door, if I'm not your guy, then I have some connections to people that might be, and we can get you some help or support that you need. So anyway, stay healthy, stay safe, and hopefully we get through this. As we get through this, we get through this in one piece. All right, thanks.